let me tell you what I was thinking about yesterday, and you already said it. I was in my soul. I was like, I hope she comes so that I can tell her, just do something, whatever it is that you can do. You can't do everything, but there's one thing, even if it's just like this, right? Even if it's just this, even if it's just connecting to community and connecting to somebody that is different than your everyday life, right? So there's medicine in all of that. So that's kind of what I was feeling yesterday. Is that maybe what brought you here today?
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I'm moving as much as I can, but I could probably definitely. I try to move the upper body as much and try to keep it loose, but I haven't been completely successful in that. So, yeah,
And to give
this
you some
certainly
ideas.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not turning any legs, and I should be able to stand for a while, but I don't know. I didn't take any tramadol this morning, so we'll see how long I get.
Okay.
Trying to like only take it when I have to.
Uh-huh. Well, you can do everything that I do seated. I have a client who can't stand at all. She has a severe knee injury, right? Kind of like you. And we sit 90% of the whole time. I just ask her to sit. Like, I know you've seen this before, but I'm just going to go ahead and like, this is my office chair. So Heather, I know you spend a ton of time behind your desk. I know that is part of the stress of your work, is that you're kind of stuck in this one position. And I see it all the time where people are like asking for, what's the most comfortable office chair? And I just want to scream to everyone, get the most uncomfortable chair you can sit on. That is the therapy. That is number one. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow, right? But learning to sit on a solid surface instead of a comfortable surface and taking on the shape of the comfort is step one towards, in my opinion, office therapy, right? But I want to get you there slowly. So anyway, this just comes back to, how do we sit in a chair? So Julie, if you must sit in a chair to get your workout in, then I know Julie and Heather, you've heard this before, but let me just refresh. And even, let's say you don't change your chair, just change the way you sit in the chair. To me, I have a rule that I don't really let the back of the chair hold me. Wherever I'm sitting, I kind of like just sit. I'm not saying I don't ever sit on the couch with my son and watch a movie or anything like that. I do. But usually I'm not leaning against the back of the chair. It is posture in the seated position. And then from there, I can do lymphatic work. I can do ankle work, right? I can do spinal work. So, I can do that in between emails, in between conference calls, right? I could do, if I'm in this position already and not it back there, letting the chair sit for me, instead I sit on the chair and then take these little movement therapy breaks all throughout your day. And so twofold, Heather, that's just reminding you of how you can get it in, right? You said you were struggling with, how do you want April to be committed to you time, right? Give yourself time. And a lot of times we think, okay, I'm gonna do a workout, or I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm gonna do this, and that sometimes can get overwhelming, because you're like, where do I find another hour in my day, right? Or 90 minutes like today. So you time might just mean you set an alarm every hour and you give yourself 5 minutes to move your body, whether it's in your office chair or not. It's just like 5 minutes every hour. I'm not sure how your work works, but if it is possible, 5 minutes every hour, you stop what you're doing and you give yourself your me time. Think about that. So how many minutes is that if it's in an 8-hour day? 40 minutes? Is the math correct there? Yeah, that's 40 minutes of me time that you gave yourself, that you're craving, right? But if you can't make it happen after work or before work, then make it happen easily during work. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, that feels very smart, and something like, why didn't I think of that before?
Well, that's why everyone needs a coach. You can't think of everything on your own, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I love it too. I didn't know I was going to say that. It just came to me, right? These are what the power of these conversations are. I don't have a book of how-tos. It's just, here's each individual. Heather, you said what you said. Well, I also know I heard a few things. This month kicked my butt. It's been so busy. I've known you through a few of these programs. That conversation continues. It hasn't really changed. It's been, I'm busy. I don't get a lot of time for myself. Then I want to help you figure out a way to do that, to feel like you've got a little time for yourself. And part of that is setting up boundaries, right? And rules for yourself in a way, but not so rigid that you're set up to fail.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So, and then if it leads to more, great. But if you do what I suggest, doing 5 minutes of me time, and we can do 5-minute workout. We can do a 5-minute workout today. One in the chair, Julie. It will be great for you, right? While you figure out your knee pain, and in 1 5-minute standing up. So Heather, if you just feel like every other hour it's a stand up, get out of your chair, right? And then the other hours are every other hours is right in your chair, right? So you can play with it. So I already know where we're going to kind of go with our workout today. I'll do a 5-minute desk therapy workout, and we'll do a 5-minute standing desk therapy workout. Because even the people that keep doing standing desk as a way to do office therapy, I guess, right? Because, the message, whoever the marketers are for the stand-up desk really put out the right coined message, right? Sitting is bad as cancer. Sitting will kill you like cigarettes kill you. I mean, they literally had some sort of promo going on, or marketing mastermind going on, and everyone falls for that stuff. And then they standing desk. But to me, I feel that there's still a lot of issues with the standing desk, because if you don't stand well, it is hurting you just as much as you not sitting well. Yeah,
well, now you can add the treadmill desks to it.
And yes,
I'm pretty sure I would kill myself.
Well, I'm not saying the treadmill desk isn't a great idea, but most people don't know how to walk well either. So I just don't know. I don't know. Emily, what do you have to add? Because I see you excited.
Oh, I've had a standing desk for over a decade, but it's the same thing. I'm not in the space between. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Doing this. So so you're still getting all kinked up. You're still tight in a position. So if you're not getting your 5 minutes in, or running to the kitchen to get a tea, if you're standing there, your hips are going to get kinked up,
or your knees, or your neck, or all of it, right?
I like the standing desk, but you can't just be stuck in that position.
So to me, Emily, a quick fix for you would be to get this is like an end table, right? Like it's a bedside table, but I was like, oh, it looks cute in my house, but this would be a great office chair. You need to be able, and I don't know about your computer and stuff like that, but it would be better to be able to sit a little bit and work, and stand a little bit and work, but not sit and just sit, and not stand and just stand, but do the work within it, right?
Yeah.
I guess my advice is a less comfortable office chair with a hard seating surface, right? Our butt doesn't actually need as much cushion as they've made us believe, right? Our butt muscles are the cushion. And as well, when the cushion that you sit in is soft, there's no chance to fight against the posture in a way. So, or the way that it's pulling you. So think about this. If I sit on a soft cushion, what shape is my pelvis going to take? My hips are going to sink. And then what shape does my lumbar spine take? My lumbar spine goes either flat or outward curve flexion, and the lumbar spine, the lower back spine, is supposed to flex, but it's supposed to flex only for you to be able to bend appropriately, right? You're not supposed to live in flexion. No way, because the natural curvature of the lumbar spine is an inward curve. So if we're sitting on a squishy cushion that's supposed to be comfortable, it pulls us in the reverse curve of our lumbar spine, and all of a sudden we've got something going on back here, we've got something going on right here, and then all of a sudden the physical therapist is only focusing on here and only on here, but really what it is a squishy office chair and to being pulled into a lumbar flexion and being held like that for 8 hours a day, right? So you can't throw away your chair, Heather. That's not what I'm trying to say right now at all, okay? You can't throw away your standing desk. You've been doing it for a decade, right? But what I can do is give you those 5 minutes that will reverse what the squishy cushions do to you and reverse what the standing desk does to you. Sound good? Help out in the little ways that I can help out and keep you moving and keeping you connected, because when you are suffering, and the word is suffer, I know it's a harsh word to say, but you're suffering from your pain. You're suffering from this limitation. And what all I can do is give you movement that can help soften the suffer in a way, right? I can't fix it. I can't do any of that. But what I can do is help you soften the suffer and keep you feeling mentally okay, not awesome, but mentally okay, because you have somebody that's there for you, right? Away.
Yep.
And you have some movement to turn to when you're struggling, whether it be physically, emotionally, or mentally, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm having a struggle emotional moment, I mean, I will be like, it takes me a moment, but I'm like, Donnell, just go out to the studio, turn on one song and do something. Move for one song, movement therapy for one song. And I swear to goodness, it knocks me out of my whatever. And it doesn't even have to be a sad thing. It could be like, my son was annoying me the other day so much, and I don't even know why. It wasn't really that annoying. He was just being a 12-year-old. But I was like, and then I was like, Donnell, go out to the garage and do one song workout now. Like, that's what I was talking to myself like. And I did one song workout, and I came in, I was like, I'm sorry, Max. Like, who cares? You didn't clean your room. We can clean it. You can clean it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, that's kind of what I want to do, is be there for you when you need it. And those one song or these 5-minute movement therapy workouts that we're going to do today, I think is maybe your answer to soften the suffer until you get to that PT appointment, until you get that MRI, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Emily is teaching some of these AgeDEFY things to her people in Canada, to her gals in the gym. She just graduated the mobility flow teacher training, and then comes to all these classes, and she's starting to implement it and stuff. And how so they're doing good. I mean, are they finding new ways to move around their injuries?
They are, and it's really surprising. I've got my mom in there, and she's in her late 70s and just very stiff and doesn't seem to lift her, working some of the flows, the moving through the come on, brain, you can do it. Yeah, the
helicopter
pose and going into the plant, and just trying to get the basic feel of it, not worrying too much about where the posture was. And I look over, and there she is, just whoop, and she was right over, and I thought, oh, okay, it's coming out of my mouth, and I'm explaining and I'm demonstrating, and it's being absorbed.
Yeah. Hear it, see it, feel it. What you just said, whatever I'm saying, the words that are coming my mouth, the way I'm showing it, they're hearing it, they're seeing it, and then they start to feel it, and that's how they're absorbing it, and that's what you're seeing. So I love that.
And they keep coming back to class. I think it's that there must be something that I love that they love, because they keep coming back. Yeah.
I love that. That's why I also told you, Emily, and I just want to tell everyone else, because this applies to, in so many ways, the chase the feel good. So I give Emily a ton of ideas of how to move herself and then her students. But I don't want her to take all the ideas. I only want her to take the ideas that she loves, because when you love it, it's just contagious energy. Everyone's going to love it. They're going to feel that love within it. So, be choosy about what you teach, but this applies to you guys as students of mine. Be choosy of what movements you choose to do, right? Let's just take one pose that I'm thinking of right now. Let's just say you have a shoulder injury and the side bend flow does not feel good to you. Well, guess what? It doesn't have to be a feel good pose for you right now. It doesn't mean it won't be one day, but if you make it a pose to do just because I'm telling you to do it at that moment, it won't ever turn into a feel good thing. Something hasn't released. We have not prepared for this yet. I'm just giving that one as an example. So what would you do? You would just kind of move. You would find a movement that felt good, and you would just keep doing what movement feels good to you until this is yours to do, right? You just, if you test it and you're like, ooh, no, that hurts my shoulder today, don't keep doing it. Just use one of the other things, that other million things that I'm teaching you to do. That's why I don't teach you a list of things to do, because I want you guys to be able to have that moment of supreme decision making for your own body. This does not work for me today. No way. Oh, this feels good. Okay, this is what I'll chase, right? And so every time in class that I'm doing that, you come back to what feels good to you. Okay, so that I've said this my whole life, my whole teaching life. I used to teach yoga teachers how to teach yoga. I've trained hundreds of yoga people how to teach yoga. And I've always told them, people would come with like journals and, want to write down every word I say. And I after a couple years, I was like, okay, no more. And I used to give them manuals, complete, verbiage of how to teach each pose and stuff. And then I started being like, no more. So I only tell you the stories because I shifted my way of thinking before I ever became an AgeDEFY movement therapist. This was during my yoga teach days. And I would say, don't write down every word I say. Whatever's meant for you will not miss you, right? What I'm doing is giving you a bunch of information. I'm filling your vault. You won't even know that you have it inside of you until all of a sudden you're teaching one day, or in a student application, you're moving one day and you're like, oh, this works, right? Or whatever you say, Emily, in your classes, is because you're filling your vault. I'm filling your vault with movement ideas. That's it. Not all ideas are meant to be used at once or at all times. They're just there for you to pull from when you find a movement that doesn't work for you. Find something in your vault. Move to something. So I guess why I tell you that is because we're about to do our workout. And what I want to do for this workout is to fill your movement vault, your movement therapy vault. Don't try to remember everything we do, because your body remembers. You'll pull from it. You'll pull from this lesson, whether you pull from it today or 2 years down the road, it doesn't matter. It becomes part of you. It's part of your vault. So I'm just going to give you a bunch of different movement therapy ideas and to fill that vault today. And we'll break it into 5-minute segments. Does that sound good? Okay. So let's start in our chair. Everyone, can you grab a chair that you can sit in?